Hello there. My name is Peter Seaman, and I'm from Grassroots Public Affairs. Had the great pleasure to work with the Canadian Federation of Agriculture over the last many months in developing the Producing Prosperity in Canada advocacy campaign. We've put together this simple deck to walk you through the fundamentals of the campaign and highlight the specific things that you can do as a member of the agri-food sector to participate and help us spread the word to as many potential members of parliament in the upcoming fall federal election. So let's get started. First off, what is this campaign about? As mentioned, it's a CFA-led initiative. It's called Producing Prosperity in Canada, and it's an advocacy campaign intended to educate and enlighten a larger number of federal MPs on the great story of agriculture and what it can do for Canada as a whole. Let's remind ourselves that after every election cycle, there are anywhere from 30 to 50% newly elected MPs. And after these MPs get to Ottawa following the election, they will be inundated with information on a variety of issues that they will have previously had little or no exposure to. Our intention with this campaign is to introduce them to agriculture before the election, get them to sign on to the fundamental idea of supporting agriculture and what it can do for the country as a whole, so that we have a base understanding when we follow up with them later on in the year and into 2020. The campaign focuses around this simple pledge, and we'll provide it to you in hard copy. It's also available electronically off the website, and we print these off on legal size pieces of paper. And the pledge essentially says, I support producing prosperity in Canada. I support maximizing Canada's agri-food industries to grow and prosper for the benefit of all Canadians. We ask candidates to sign it, put their party name and their riding on the form, take the picture. We let them keep it afterwards, but we ensure we get that picture so that we can send them follow-up correspondence and share that information of their support on the campaign website. So, why are we doing this? Well, as mentioned, there is an upcoming federal election. And the reality is there's already hundreds of candidates from all party lines meeting with voters and stakeholders in their ridings. We need to ensure that we have enough voices out there speaking clearly and consistently about the opportunities of the agri-food sector for the country in the decades ahead. This campaign is designed to have as many voices in the agri-food sector speaking on the same issues. One of the challenges we have is the diversity not only of our country, but of the agri-food sector as a whole. And what I've heard repeatedly from leaders across many commodities is that we, collectively, need to speak in a more collaborative manner. That's what this campaign is about. It is high level, it focuses on some fundamental benefits, but we need to get more politicians excited and interested in the opportunities of what the agri-food sector can do for the country. So what's it focused on? Well, first thing that we need to do, and we need you to do, is communicate the reality of modern agriculture in Canada to these candidates running for office. We need to highlight to them some of the fundamentals. The fact that the industry already generates in excess of $100 billion to the GDP. The fact that the industry employs over 2 million Canadians. That we as a nation are the fifth largest exporter globally, exceeding $60 billion in food exports. And that the manufacturing and processing industry is the largest in the country around food, employing 17% of manufacturing jobs in Canada. This is a sizable industry, one that is already generating significant economic benefits, but one that can do so much more. You will hear me repeatedly use the word benefits because that's what we want you to focus on. We know that there are many issues impacting farmers, tough, challenging issues around trade, interprovincial issues, regulations. This is not the campaign to address that specifically. We want you to focus on the benefits. We need more people talking about how this industry is a massive economic driver and can lead the country in the decades ahead. And we've decided in this campaign to focus on 3 fundamental areas. The benefits around what economic growth, increased food security, and the fact that environmental stewardship are all important benefits currently from the agri-food sector in Canada. These are three areas that we know, after doing repeated public opinion polling, that Canadians view very favorably, and specifically view favorably in relation to our domestic agri-food sector. So stick on these three and let me walk you through some fundamental points related to each. The first one, on economic growth. Some of these numbers are repetitive from the slide you saw before, but again, we need you to tell candidates about the sizable impacts and contributions that agriculture already provides the country, and the fact that the sector is growing at a faster rate compared to other leading industries in the country. 11% compared to 7.8% for other industries from 2012 to 2016. Remind them on the jobs, and not only the number of jobs, but the number of future jobs, well-paying, university-educated jobs that are going to be needed to be filled. Too many people have a perception that most jobs in agriculture are low-paying, labor-related, and while those certainly are part of the mix, there are an increasing number of high-tech jobs that need to be filled, 21st century, innovative, technology-related jobs that agriculture can provide Canadians. And lastly, demand. We know the world population is growing, and Canada is in a great position to benefit, as we already are in amongst the largest exporters in the world. We need to do more, and with appropriate government support, we can not only benefit the Canadian economy, but feed more of the world. When it comes to food security, there are many great aspects to talk about. Number one, the diversity. Canadian agriculture produces among the most diverse range of products and food in the world. Quality. Canadian regulatory leadership has allowed our farmers to produce food of the highest qualities and highest standards. The Canadian brand is tremendously well respected. And affordability. Canadians are fortunate to spend less of their food than most other countries. I referred earlier to the public opinion polling. Canadians overwhelmingly support food grown and processed in Canada than any other country in the world. The last primary benefit, and potentially the most important, is around environmental stewardship. We need to tell the story about how there are no better stewards of the earth than farmers. And the benefits include ecological benefits associated with farming, carbon capture and the reduction of carbon emissions over the last many decades based on new farming practices. And lastly, and most importantly, innovation. Many are unaware of how much modern technology and innovation is being implemented on farming today. Share the stories about what you're doing on your farm from this generation compared to the previous, and particularly how it impacts and benefits the environment. Farmers need a healthy and clean, sustainable environment more than anyone. Let's tell that story. Now, we have summarized these statistics on a handy infographic. There's a small image of it on the left side of the screen now. It's available for download off the website at producingprosperitycanada.ca. Just look for the red button. You can download these and print them yourselves. We'll make hard copies available through your members' organizations. And we encourage you to use these in your meetings and to leave them with the candidates that you meet with as a great resource and reference for them as they move forward in the campaign. So what specifically can you do to participate? Well, we need you to reach out. Reach out to the candidates running not only in your riding, but your neighboring ridings, and maybe ridings in your province that are closer to cities. Identify those local candidates, call them up, invite them to your farm, go to their office, and see if they'll make some time for you to talk about the great story around agriculture and what it means to the country. We can tell you from past experience that the response is very positive. Meet with as many as you can, but focus on the ones that are most likely going to win in your riding first. Once you have an opportunity to meet with them, remember to focus on the campaign narrative. Communicate the great story around modern agriculture and what it can do for the country, and focus on why it matters to all Canadians. What's in it for the politician? And when you think about the economics, the job creation, the healthy environment, the food security, these are all benefits that candidates from across the country, whether they're running in an urban riding or a rural riding, can get behind. The pledges are also available for download on the website. They print off on a legal size piece of paper, or we can ensure that you get hard copies through your member organization. Make sure you bring at least one of these with you when you go into your meetings. Following the discussion, and normally it takes no more than 20 to 30 minutes, ask them if they'd be so inclined to sign the pledge that you want to share it with members of your community and members within your farming association. Overwhelming majority number of candidates will sign it, take pictures with them, and share it on social media. Make sure you send it in to the CFA to the email address here, communications@canadian-farmers.ca. Highlight who the candidate is, just in case we can't read the signature, and the riding and the party affiliation, and we'll make sure we get it up on the website. We encourage you to share it on your own social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Use the hashtag #ProducingProsperity, and let's fill social media in the weeks and months ahead with great stories and pictures about this campaign. Please don't forget to check out the website. On that website, there's a great video on the home page that you should be looking at and sharing on your social media or even just by email to people that you know. It's a great summary of the campaign and tells, again, a great opportunity around agri-food. Many people have been using it in emails to the candidates before they meet with them. Encourage you to do that. You can also look at who has already signed the pledge by clicking the green bar. There's a search tool there to ensure that you're not visiting a candidate potentially that's already been met with. Lots more information will come on this website in the coming weeks and months, so be sure to check it regularly. I hope this presentation has given you a basic understanding of the campaign. If you have any questions specific to the campaign or what we're asking you to do, I invite you to send an email to us at info@grassrootspa.ca. We'll be sure to get back to you as quickly as possible. Have fun out there communicating the great message around agriculture in Canada, and thanks for listening.